In addressing the student housing crisis, Assemblymember Arambola and I have introduced Assembly Bill 2784, a bill that would establish the Emergency Student Housing Loan Program to be piloted at 3 CSU campuses. Under this program, students experiencing homelessness or who are at risk of being homeless may be eligible to receive a loan to help pay for their housing expenses. The loan would be forgiven if the student successfully completes the academic semester during which the loan was awarded. For years, we have acted as if college students were immune to homelessness, that they had the resources and that the community had the housing availability to meet the students' housing needs. But this is no longer the case. And although it's difficult to know exactly how many students are homeless, there are students without a place to live, often residing in a shelter, an automobile, an abandoned building, on a friend's couch, or outside on the streets. A recent CSU study of student basic needs in 2018 found that 10.9% of students experienced homelessness one or more times in the past 12 months. Over the years, the issue of homelessness has been a topic of great discussion and debate. The rising cost of college tuition, room and board, books, and supplies has put students at a heightened risk of housing and food insecurity. More than half of the CSU students come from low-income families who make great sacrifices to support their students. However, low-income students cannot always rely on their family's financial support, and as a result take on multiple jobs on top of their academic endeavors, and even then they struggle to secure housing because of its high cost. The stories of students sleeping in cramped spaces, car shelters, or outdoors is alarming. Low-end, first-generation students of color are particularly vulnerable to housing insecurity, and no student should be exposed to the stressful situation of not knowing where they will sleep on any given evening. I find it personally disturbing that our college students, the future of our state, and we all acknowledge that they're the future of our state, face such tremendous challenges on their path towards a higher education degree, a degree that the state desperately needs for them to achieve, a degree that's going to help us to maintain our status as the 6th largest economy in the world.
I can understand how students feel uncomfortable sharing their students of experiencing homelessness and hunger. That is my experience. Being a woman of color, having been first generation, low income, in foster care, I had all the odds stacked against me. So it may be no surprise that when I started community college, I was homeless for the first 3 months. The poverty that I felt beyond economic was also emotional. The loneliness that I felt was the worst poverty of all. So it warms my heart to see so many people in the community coming together and making this invisible population visible and letting them know that we care about you.
Higher education is one of the most important pathways to upward mobility for low-income families, and we must maintain this path as a viable one for the future of our state. California's future depends on effectively preparing our young people to meet workforce demand. It is imperative that we support students' security so they can succeed academically and graduate. We have to put an end to student homelessness, and AB 2784 is a beginning, and it's a modest investment to achieve this goal and really to create a framework for the rest of the CSU campuses to be able to do the same thing.